Assalamu alaikum, hello and namaste. Welcome to another inspirational episode number 89 of The Limelight. Well, today on the hot seat we have a very lovely personality. She is the founder of Urban Shakti. She is a holistic psychologist treating mind, body and spirit as a whole in women, and she also offers coaching and counseling services for women only. So, listeners, please welcome our guest, Reshma Raju. Hi, Reshma. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you, Farheen. How are you?
I'm doing great, and it's a pleasure to have you on my show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Likewise, here. So, Reshma, before we talk about Urban Shakti and what you do, I would like you to tell our listeners about yourself.
About myself. Okay, so I am a mother to an 8-year-old boy. And apart from motherhood duties, I'm also a holistic psychologist who works with women, helping women to address, their mind-body issues. So that's what a holistic psychologist does, which is I focus on the relationship between the mind and the body and the spirit. And I believe that it's quite impossible to treat the mind and behavior without taking all the other factors, around us or in our life, like our health, our environment, our relationships. So I put all that together and I address the whole person, and that's what holistic psychology is about.
Wow, that's really interesting to know about you and what you do. And I pray that God blesses you and your family with all the health and happiness in life.
Thank you so much, Fanny.
You're welcome. Okay, now tell me, what is Urban Shakti?
So Urban Shakti is a company that I founded. We started this whole, the concept last year. And basically, Urban Shakti is all about educating and empowering women to plan their life around their menstrual cycle. And this basically helps them to transform their health, their relationships, and their careers. Now, the thing is, a lot of women, assume that their menstrual cycles are not important, right? They don't pay too much attention to their menstrual cycle. And what happens is it makes them neglect their hormonal health. A lot of women struggle with issues such as unwanted weight gain, PCOS, PMS. And what happens is we start looking to crash diets and detox teas and other fitness experts without stopping to consider whether our menstrual cycle is functioning correctly at all, right? So as you know, the woman's body operates on a 28-day cycle, and this is actually split into 4 different hormonal phases. So when your hormones fluctuate throughout the month, even your energy levels go up, your sex drive goes up, your metabolism also goes up, and sometimes it goes down as well. So what happens is, the hormones affect the female brain. So depending on where you are in your cycle, your mind could be crystal clear one day and foggy the next day. So at Urban Shakti, what we do is we help women use this knowledge to schedule their lives. So by letting the body's natural cycle guide her time, her diet, her relationships, and her career. Basically, we go about explaining or educating women how the menstrual cycle affects everything that they do. Yeah, so this is what Urban Shakti is about, and we look to we go around educating women about menstrual health.
That is really nice. I mean, I didn't know there's some kind of relationship between our menstrual cycle and the mood swings we go through. Yeah, I did understand that whenever our menses were closed, we used to get this mood swings. But the whole thing is around it. I didn't know that.
Oh yes, it's so integral because your hormones are fluctuating throughout the month, and when your hormones fluctuate, everything also fluctuates, isn't it? Your
Yeah.
energy fluctuates, your sex drive fluctuates, your metabolism, your sleep cycle, your irritability, everything is constantly fluctuating. So it's totally related to what's going on inside. So once a woman understands what's going on inside, then she can start scheduling her life better. She can start planning her life around the menstrual cycle. So some days when you feel incredibly creative, you start doing things which, make use of that creativity. Sometimes your organizing capacity is much higher. So then what you do is you start doing things which require you to, organize things maybe around the house or in the office. So yeah, it's a completely different range of, moods, emotions. Even your diet also changes accordingly. So sometimes when some people just, go through one particular diet throughout the whole month, nothing happens. The weight doesn't change. You're so tired, you're cranky. That's because the female body needs a lot of variety. We can't be doing one thing throughout. We can't be running throughout the month. We can't be doing yoga throughout the month. We have to keep, changing it up a little bit here and there.
Right, right. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, what should men know about this phase which women go through during their menstrual cycle and otherwise?
So the thing is, I think it's so important that men really understand what the menstrual cycle is, because I feel that men have a major role to play in normalizing periods in the first place. And they also have to put in a lot of effort to understand the basics. But apart from that, they have to understand that the woman is not crazy, all the time, or she's not erratic. It's largely because of this physiological changes that are going on inside her body that she becomes, or she is forced to be a certain way or certain ways at different times. So for example, sometimes you want to take, I know men come, they come up and they say, look, last week she was fine. She wanted to go out and she wanted to be with friends and she was so happy. But this week she's really inward and she doesn't want to talk to no one and something's wrong with her. And even the woman also feels that something's wrong with herself, but that's not true. Because during the cycle, when your energy levels are high, you tend to be very overt, you tend to be very, open, social, you want to meet people. And then there is also a time when you just want to be by yourself. You want to just go inward. Your energy levels are low. You want to rest. You want to recuperate. And this is largely because of the physiology that's going on, because of, the egg being released and, it's being dissolved. And that whole process of bleeding, from bleeding and then getting into, ovulation and then back to bleeding again, has a lot of emotional ramifications as well. So I think men should understand that this is the cycle and this is what she is about, rather than, just be very judgmental about women and say, oh, she's not stable, or she's very weird, she's acting crazy. It's largely because she's acting crazy. It's because the environment around her is not supporting her to be the way she wants to be. So she wants to be by herself. She wants to rest. Sometimes she just gets into a very inner, she wants to be by herself. She wants her space. And at that time, the man comes in and says, hey, let's go out for a wedding. Now, the thing is, she wouldn't want to go for the wedding. She won't feel like going for it, but she will go for it. But then she won't have a good time because she is in that phase where she is very introvert and she's very inward. What the woman needs to do is she needs to be able to say, no, I want to be by myself, or I don't want to go for this wedding today. I would like to spend some time alone. I would like to spend some time introspecting, rather than, be pushed into the obligations or the society's demands and then go completely against the flow of her natural cycle and then feel really bad and, maladjusted in the whole process.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, right? I mean, most of us go through this. We're just made to feel guilty for not doing things just because we have to do it. But no one realizes that our body itself is going through a process which requires us to be extroverted at some times and introverted at other times. And we just have to listen to that and not feel bad at all for listening to our body. So that's one thing, right? We have so much of pressure around us to be a certain way, that the woman should function 24/7, firing on all cylinders in a certain way. But that's not the case. You can't do that. That's not possible.
You're right. I mean, we are put into so much of responsibility, like the house, the kids, and the work if you're working, and still manage to be normal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, first of all, what is normal? And second thing is, why aren't we empowered enough to say no? Why aren't we taught these things in school? Or why aren't we given an understanding of what is going on at a physiological level, which has an impact on our psychology as well.
Well, that was really full of information. Okay, now after all these serious questions and serious talks, I have a fun segment for you, which is called the rapid fire round. And I will be asking you three random questions which you can answer in one word or a sentence. Okay?
Okay.
So, my first question is, which is that one food you can eat every day for the rest of your life?
Carrots.
Oh, wow, I didn't expect that.
I love carrots.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, second question is, what is that one special hidden talent you have?
I like to doodle a lot.
Nice. Okay, my last question. What's the secret of your beauty?
Oh, I meditate quite a bit. And no sugar. There are two
No
words.
sugar. Okay, that's nice. Okay, that was the end of the rapid fire round, and your answers were amazing.
Thank you so much, Rahim, for having me on this program. And the rapid fire was really something that even I didn't see coming. So that was a lot
Well,
of
it's
fun.
just for fun, and listeners get to know more about you. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I just hope that whatever I said was of use, and there was some information there.
Yes.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we have reached the last segment of our show where we ask your advice for our listeners.
Okay, so I would like to tell women to start paying attention to their menstrual cycle, to really start paying attention to their menstrual health, because that is your foundation for just about everything that's going on in your life, within and around as well. So please pay attention to your cycle. Eat healthy, stay away from the sugars, stay away from foods that cause inflammation, and keep hydrating yourself as much as possible. Yeah, and things should be smooth with that.
Okay, that was lovely, sweet advice. And Reshma, I thank you so much for taking time from your busy schedule and doing this podcast with me.
Thank you so much, Brahim. It was a pleasure.
You're welcome. Okay, listeners, if you have liked this episode, please click on the like button of the Limelight page. And if you want to connect with Reshma, the details are in the poster. Thank you for listening, and Allah.